thank you for joining with another noonday. And it sure feels like fall of the year outside, and it just seems like the cooler weather gives us a little more energy and just reminds us of the beauty of the changing of the seasons. Well, I want you to do something today that you won't really have time to do completely during our little devotional time, but maybe I can plant the seed, and then later today you can give it some more thought. Maybe the days ahead you can give it some more thought. Think back in your life, over your life, at the things that have probably kept you from making 100 if you were giving yourself a grade on how you've lived your life. For example, maybe you say, well, as I think back over my life, one area that I would not make 100 would be the area of worry. Sometimes as I look back over my life, I've just worried more than if I could do it again, I would worry less. Probably most all of us could fall in that group. Not many of us would say we make 100 on that. Or maybe in your life you look back and say, as I look back on my life, one of the areas that I would not have made 100 would be the matter of forgiving people. I struggle with that. And of course we know the Bible teaches that we are to unconditionally forgive people. But maybe that's an area that maybe you make a 90 or 80 or whatever. Maybe you make 100 on that. Maybe that's not your area. Or maybe as you look back over your life, you would say, one of the areas of my life that I would not make 100 would be on just discipline. The different things in my life where my discipline has just not been what it should be. Maybe it's the discipline of having a quiet time, or the discipline of exercise, the discipline of eating, whatever it may be. You say, boy, that's just an area where I've not really made 100. Well, probably the list could go on and on, but I'm going to suggest today that if you really look back over your life, certainly this is true in my life, and I'm not the only one, an area where I would not make 100, I would not make an A, I would not make an A+, would be words. Our words can get us in a lot of trouble. And the Bible is very clear about our words. And one of my very favorite verses in the Bible is in the book of Proverbs. It's in chapter 15. Maybe you might jot this down and read it later. In Proverbs chapter 15, which has a great deal to say about words, but there's one verse in Proverbs chapter 15 that really is packed with wisdom. And it's verse number 28. It's the A part of that verse. And it says, the righteous, in other words, different translations say it a different way, but the righteous consider what they're going to say before they speak. And many times if we would do that, we'd make 100. So often in my life, I've heard something or I've reacted to something with my words, and I really didn't take time, I didn't pause, I didn't think through what I'm about to say and how I'm about to say it. Well, if we're in right relationship with God and we're being directed by the Holy Spirit, I think we're going to consider what we say before we say it. And so I suggest to you today, I really am talking to myself, here's an area that needs my attention every day, and perhaps yours, is that as we journey through each day and things are said to us or things are asked of us, before we quickly respond without thinking, we need to consider what we're going to say, because our words have a tremendous power to us. The book of James talks about our words can destroy, our words can kill. Well, our words can build up, or our words can tear down. And I know you want your words, and I certainly want mine, to be words of encouragement, to build people up, to edify. And if I would just work at considering what I'm going to say before I say it, the better it would be. There's an old saying that says, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, that's not only an old saying, that's an untrue saying. How many times all of us have been hurt by words. And I fear how many times most of us would say we've hurt others by our words. So my prayer today for myself, my prayer for you, as we journey through this day, And every day, let us consider what we're going to say before we say it. Well, have a great rest of this day. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next time.